We're going to factor this polynomial. And what does it mean to factor this polynomial? Is to put it in this other form, okay? Just background to it. You want to put it in intercept form. Y equals A, X minus P, X minus Q. This is the intercept form. If you remember, this learning mathematics is like a story. We want to put it in this form. There was some other form called this one, y equals a x minus h squared plus k. This is what kind of form? Anybody? Of course, nobody's going to say anything. It's called vertex form that we just barely tested. Vertex form. Okay? Yes or no? Somebody just go yes, yeah. There was some other form, which again, there was three forms. There was the other form, which is this exact form. This is standard form, which it was y equals a x squared plus bx plus c. This is called standard form of a quadratic. So there are three forms. We did form 1, form 2, form 3. What happens here, we want to go from standard form. We want to go from this form to this form. All right, we want to go from that to that. So these are the methods. There's like 4 different methods I could think of doing it. Let's go directly to the way I do it. Then it's called the X method. Some people in middle school learned it with the diamond method or something they called it. But this is specifically my method. Draw an X, everybody. Let's go ahead and draw an X under it. And the way it goes is that we're going to put numbers on the X. In front of X squared is a number that's called a coefficient. What number is invisible that's in front of X squared? Anybody? 1. Okay, at least one person said it. There is a 1. Some people say it's a 0. How in the heck is it going to be a 0? If it was a 0, then it wouldn't be there. There's a 1 here too. So the way it goes with my method, it goes like this. The coefficient of the middle term, which the coefficient is 1, and to not be very academic with it, the middle number goes to the bottom. This number 1 drops to the bottom of the X. That's how it starts. That's how it goes. And what number goes on top of the X? It's going to be always the first number times the last number. 1 times negative 6. What is 1 times negative 6? I gave you calculators for it. If you don't know what a negative times a positive or a positive times a negative is. What's 1 times negative 6? Negative 6. All right? So that number goes there. So now we're going to start doing the math. This is just kind of prepping it. This is how it goes. What are 2 numbers right here on the left and right of this that multiply, dot for multiply, to equal negative 6, add up to 1? Let me ask that question again, and you don't need to write it down. I'm going to write it down right now. What 2 numbers? What 2? See, I don't want to even put 2 here. What 2 numbers? You don't need to write this down. Only if you want to write. I've never written it down. What 2 numbers multiply to equal negative 6 and add up to, look at me, to what? Add up to what? 1. That's the question here. What 2 numbers multiply to equal negative 6 add up to 1? Okay, so that's the math. That's the problem. When you're with facility, you can't think of those numbers quickly. What are those numbers? Am I going to show you then how my teacher taught me? If I remember a long time ago, he says, hey, if you have problems coming up with those numbers, do a T-chart and put that number negative 6 on top. And start thinking of getting a calculator, start multiplying numbers that multiply to equal negative 6. What could those numbers be? Could it be 6 and 1? 6 and 1? Well, you know, you're going to put a negative in one of them, no? Yes or no? And then what are the numbers? 3 and 2? 2 and 3? I'm pretty sure that 3 and 2 is going to be the 1. Now, which one is negative? Negative 2? So I'm breaking it down like what we, so this is the math here. Why? Because I said 3 times negative 2. What's 3 times negative 2? What is 3 times negative 2? 6. And what is 3 plus a negative 2? Or 3 minus 2? Is 1, isn't it? Yes or no? Okay, so as opposed to how I taught it in the other class, I'm being very specific to the way I'm doing this and how we get these numbers. So we're saying that it is 3 and negative 2. Okay, so these are the numbers. And now we're going to go, write down the factors. Remember what we said? That we needed in factor form. So this thing is going to be x squared. To get x squared, we're going to x and x. We needed our p and q's here for what I had said. So we're going to do x plus 3. Put that there, x minus 2. And the a value is 1, so I don't even need to put a is 1 here, because this is the factor form of this, meaning that this is equal to this. And that's just a different form of it. How do I know that that's true? How can I verify? I don't have to do this, we're done. I'm just going to do this just to prove to you that this is that. All right, how's it go? X times x. X times x is x squared. X times negative 2 is negative 2x. 3 times x is 3x. And 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. And if I add these up in the middle, what is negative 2x plus 3x? What's negative 2x plus 3x? 1x. So this is x. This is minus 6. And that's positive. And this is x squared. And I said that this is equal to that. No, you don't have to do this. This is just a proof. What we need, we just multiply it out to make sure that it's that. But this is the answer. Yes? You understand. Does that make sense? And there's different methods. This specific my method. And if we understand what is it that we want, to break it down into this, then this method works just fine. There's some students that would go and look it up on YouTube videos, and you watch other people teaching it, and it's fine if you actually learn it. See, sometimes you guys go and watch videos and you say, hey, I looked it up and this teacher teaches like that. And okay, cool, teach me. I don't know how to do it. So how does it go? Middle number, I'm going to do it again. The middle number goes to the bottom. First times the last, 1 times negative 6, negative 6. What are the two numbers that multiply to negative 6 add up to 1? That's going to be 3 times negative 2. Another thing people say to me, does it matter that you put negative 3, maybe negative 2 here and 3 over there? No, it does not matter. It does not matter where you put the numbers. And that's the answer right there. Okay, good. Can you do one? You do one. Let's go. Let's go. I'm going to walk around, see if you can do what I just said. This method. It would be cool if I can like stop the recording and start it again and just keeps it going. That would be cool, because it was like, and I don't want to be doing this editing and stuff. That's how I was doing it when I would come in the morning and do it in the morning and just go over it like flash. Got a little bit lazy. Maybe I should start doing it. But Okay, good, good. And see what I'm saying to you guys? When I'm going to start walking around. And I start walking around, and what am I going to see? I'm going to see people on their phone. And they're going to make up a reason why. They're going to say, this is too easy. I know how to do it. I do this in my head. And I say, and then the test comes around about 3 weeks, and you get like a bad grade. And then you go, why? I thought I knew it when I was watching you do it. It's nothing takes over actually doing it. You have to do it. And then I go over the answer, and then you're going to be like, oh, okay, I keep making this mistake. Okay. So, it's going to be a pretty long recording. All right. It's the next. Let's do it. Let's go. What goes at the bottom of that X? All right. What goes at the top of the X? Negative 27. Look, whoever's putting 27 is not 27. It is negative 27. What are two numbers that multiply to negative 27 add up to 6? What are two numbers? And that's the math problem, see? See, like what are those two numbers? If you want to do a T-chart, do a T-chart. It has to be what? It has to be 9 and 3. 9 and 3, yeah. The way I kind of go about it is just put the numbers. It has to be some 9 and 3 for sure. Which one is negative though? It has to be negative 3, yes? That's the way I kind of do it. And then I go through it. 9 times negative 3 is negative 27. 9 plus negative 3 is 6. Or 9 minus 3 is 6. And we got the answer to be x plus 9, x minus 3. And no, it does not matter if you put x minus 3 first or x, or the way I have it. How? Why? See, you don't have to go and go raise your hand and be like, am I right? Well, you check it. Multiply it out. Did you get it right? All right, good. Let's go on. Let's move on. Here we go. Number 3. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go. Yeah, it's funny, and it's going to be on this how education has turned that we don't do any homework anymore because we gave up that you guys don't do homework, and that's kind of sad because you have to do some kind of independent practice work. Even when I showed you and we do some examples here in class, you still got to practice it a little bit, at least a couple. Let's do it again, everybody. Look up here. Let's go. I know because we have to kind of speed it up. There's too much to do. Let's see. Let's do it. What goes at the bottom? It's not 4. It's what? What goes on top? It is not negative 15. It is negative 60. I already know. I already know what people mess up on. It's because you're like, but in the other one it didn't matter. Well, you have to always think about this number 4 times that. It's always first times the last. Negative 60. What are the two numbers? One more time, that's the math part of it. What are the two numbers that multiply to negative 60? Add up to negative 4. You guys got calculators? 10 and 6 is going to be it. 10 and 6, let's see, 10 and 6. Now, which one is negative? Which one is negative? Negative 10? Yes or no? Oh man! Oh, if you were doing this first day of school, would you? I don't know my negatives and positives. This would be impossible. Now the problem, everybody. Okay, the problem we got now is this. In the other one, the number in front of x squared was 1, wasn't it? Yes or no? If you're gonna follow this procedure of factoring, well, how can I make this coefficient? Let's say like this problem right here, this one right here. How can I make this become a 1? Couldn't I divide by 4? Yes or no? What is 4 divided by 4, everybody? What is 4 divided by 4? 1. So that's just kind of like a trick that will get you the answer. See, if you have a number in front of this one, you have to divide your answers by 4. So you have to divide this by 4, everybody. So that's going to be the trick to remember. And that's just how it goes with this method. Okay, so, all right, whatever. So it becomes 1 there. Okay, now we got to reduce negative 10 over 4. Goes to elementary school. We're going to reduce it. What's the biggest number goes into 10 and 4? Negative 10 and 4. 2, everybody, yes? You know how to reduce fractions? See, I'm even teaching you how to reduce. Because a lot of you guys didn't even learn this in middle school. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Circle that. Circle that. Because that's going to be our answer there. We'll do it in a minute. Divide top and bottom by what? For this one, 6 and 4, what's the biggest number goes in top and bottom? 2. So it's going to be what? 6 divided by 2 is 3 over 2. Circle that. This is called the bottoms up method. It's taught a lot in different places, schools. Here it goes. What I mean by bottoms up, bottom to the front, bottoms up, is that the number, the denominator number at the bottom goes to the front of x. Because usually we just say x and x, but we got to put it in front of x. So it's going to be 2x. And then put the top number in the back. 2x minus 5. So what would it be for this one here? 2x plus 3. And one more time, how do I know that this is correct? Just to like get it started. What is 2x times 2x? 2 times 2 is 4, and then x times x is what? Squared. X squared. So that's how I know that this is correct. So then just put the y in front, and you're done. There's that. All right. Your turn. Let's go. Let's try one. What was at the bottom? I know you guys working on it, but what was at the bottom? What was on top? Somebody say negative 20. What is it? Negative 60. Negative 60. Multiply the first times the last. Negative 60. What are two numbers that multiply to the top, add up to the bottom number? How about 12 and negative 5? Is it? Is that right? Yes? What do I do next? You just gotta follow the procedure here. What do we do next? Divide by what? Divided by 3, yes? Divided by 3? Divided by 3? What is 12 divided by 3?
4.
So this equals to 4. So this equals to 4. And I cannot do anything else to this. This is all reduced. So we're ready to go again. I circle my answers so I don't get all confused by everything going on there. So the answer is going to be, well, you can put a 1 under 4 and then put it in front of x, but you don't have to, x plus 4. And this, the second one's going to be what? 3x minus 5? Yeah? All right, let's continue. Next. Okay, let's go. Number 5. Continue. Right here, there's it changes to how traditionally this problem is taught, but I'm going to go ahead and do it with my method of the X method, and the reason why is sometimes in me teaching, I've been teaching a long time, I do learn from my students, and I learned this from a student. The more it goes, time passes, the more it's 7 years, maybe even longer than that, where a student says, hey, I try to do this other method, and he says, hey, why don't you try the X method? I'm like, would it work? And then we did it. So isn't it missing something here? Anybody say, is it missing something? It's missing the constant, yes or no? So what should I put here at the end? Plus 0. Plus 0. Let's go. Put a plus 0. And now we can do the x. Let's do the x. So what goes at the bottom? Negative 12. What goes on top? What did I say it was? Wasn't it the first times the last number? What is 4 times 0?
0.
Now, what are two numbers that multiply equals 0, add up to negative 12?
Negative 12 and 0.
Who said it? Who said it? Negative 12 and 0. Negative 12 and 0? Duh, it's negative 12 and 0. How do I know that's negative 12? Negative 12 times 0 is negative 12 times 0 is 0. Negative 12 plus 0 is negative 12. Yes? Yes. So now what do we do? Divided by 4? Divided by 4? So what's negative 12 divided by 4? Negative 3. Negative 3. Circle that, negative 3. What's 0 divided by 4? 0. 0. All right. Circle that. So as we continue, now let's continue. So this is going to be what? What is it going to be? What am I going to put here? Parentheses. What am I going to put? We're going to put a 1 under it and say x minus 3 here. And say, and then we say what? Isn't it x minus 0? Yes? Because we're minus, oh, x plus 0, x plus 0. Whoever said it. X plus 0, yes. But we got a problem here. What is the problem? The problem is that if I do multiply this out, what's x times x? And what do I really have here? Yeah, what do we really have? We have a what? So it's a problem. It's a problem. So what we really need then is to put a 4 here. And then that's going to be true. So this method works, but it makes you think more about it. There's a better method to deal whenever you're missing this constant. So so the answer to this would be y equals what? 4, and it's too much work anyways. It's going to be x minus 3, leave it alone. X plus 0 is just going to be x. And then you multiply x times 4, the answer is y equals 4x, x minus 3. That's too much. And that is correct. This works out to be that answer. But I'm just showing you that this method works all the way through, but it's too much work. Let me show you guys a better way to do this. So here's a better way to do it. That's it. I mean, it works, but it's too much. All right, look, let me show you guys, everybody. You want to do it a faster way to do it? Here we go. Write it again, write it down, and I'm going to show you how to do it faster. Here we go. Faster than this. Whenever it's missing this constant, you're going to divide by the biggest number. What's the biggest number that divides into 4 and 12? Or negative 12? What's the biggest number that divides evenly into 4 and 12? 4. So 4 goes into both the, 4 goes into both. There are 2 x's here in the first one, and there's only 1 x here. The smaller, you gotta put down the smaller x underneath it as well, because it divides evenly as well. They both have an x. So the GCF is called the greatest common factor. Is going to be 4x. So we're going to take that out. So it's going to be y equals, and we're going to put it here. Actually, that 4x, we're going to put it here. And then what goes inside would be what you get from dividing. What's 4 divided by 4? That's going to be 1, no? And what's x squared over x? Well, x squared means x times x over x. What can we do then? X times x over x. That's really what's happening here. X squared means x times x. Can I cancel out an x? Yes. So the answer is going to be what? X. What's negative 12 divided by 4? Negative 3. And the x is canceled, no? Yes? Isn't that like a little much easier, less work? This is too much. That's why you wouldn't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I will do the second way. All right. Continue. Let's go. Yeah, don't do it the first way. Do it the second way, everybody. We're only gonna do it the second way here. And we'll do it together. Yeah, we're not doing it the first way. Nope. Let's divide. What's the biggest number goes into both negative 2 and 8? 2. But if it's negative, you're going to put also negative, okay? Negative. And the smallest x is the one that's going to come out, and the smallest is x. So then this is going to be y equals negative 2x. And then what stays inside? What's negative 2 divided by negative 2? 1. And then it's just going to be what? X? Yes? And then what? What goes in the back? 8 divided by negative 2. Is that negative 4? 8 divided by negative 2? 4. Negative 4? Isn't it a positive divided by a negative? A negative? So it's going to be what? Negative? All right. Don't look at that. We're not doing that. No, don't do that. That's too much work. Nope. Do the second way. Let's go number 7. Let's do number 7. Okay, let's continue. Let's do number 7. We're not gonna do it with where'd it go? Don't even worry about that plus 0 because we're not gonna do it that way. All right, so we're gonna do it like the second way. What is the biggest number that goes into 40 and 8? Isn't it 8? It's 8. And so it's going to be what? 8 what? 8x. So we're going to go y equals 8x. So what stays inside?
X.
No. Come on.
5x.
5x. And then what else? Is it plus 1? Yes? 8x divided by 8x is 1. We're not doing it that way. All right, let's go. Continue. This is one of the longest lessons, and in this one, what is it missing? Isn't it missing the middle term? Isn't it missing the x? Let's go. So in this one, we can go ahead and put that it's missing the middle term because it has a 0x. Let's go and put 0x and put the minus 9. Minus 9 in the back. And actually, we can go ahead and do the x method on this. Let's do the x. And it actually works out pretty easy. So what goes at the bottom? 0. What goes on top?
Negative 9.
-9. What are the two numbers that multiply to, -9 add up to 0?
0.
What is it?
0.
-3 and +3? -3 and +3. How do I know it's -3 times, well, look, -3 times +3 is -9. -3 plus +3 is 0. Yes. So the answer is going to be what? The answer is going to be y equals what? X minus 3 and what else? How are you going to fix that? That is correct. That is it. Okay? All right, let's go. Let's do number 9. We're almost done here. We've got a couple more and we're done. Really you have to recognize pattern. This is too much work. Even right now, it's too much work. What is that? Times and then add, and it's going to be 2 and negative 2, and it's going to be x plus 2, x minus 2. Do you recognize patterns here? Here, look. If I gave you something like this quickly, everybody, let me see. Let me see if anybody gets this. What's the answer to this? Raise your hand. What's the answer to this? Say it out loud. I like putting the plus 8 first, but that's correct. And for other people that are like, yep, that makes sense, good. And if you're sitting there not understanding, go ahead and continue doing that until you understand that it's a pattern. There's a pattern. There's the pattern. Let me show you the pattern. Go ahead and write this down. Yes, Roman. This is about it. Almost. Yes. You can make this so much more difficult than it has to be. Again. And that's truth about life. You can complicate things. You didn't have to complicate it. 4x squared. What is it missing? It's missing the x, no? So we're gonna put what? Plus 0x minus 81. And you're gonna do the x because I mean that kind of like makes sense to do that again. If what goes at the bottom? 0. And what goes on top? No, that's definitely not. Huh? 81 por 4. Oh. Somebody get a calculator. What is it? 341? 321? Negative 324? Oh man, what are 2 numbers? What would be those numbers? That's I don't even know what those numbers would be. Where's the numbers? $18? Huh? Is it 18 times 18? 18 times 18? Yes? So 18 times 18. One of them is negative, no? Then what do we do? What do we do? What do we do next? Divided by 4? Divided by 4? And we got to reduce. What's the biggest number goes on top and bottom? It's going to be what? 2? Yes? 2? Which is going to be what? The answer is going to be what? Negative what? Negative 9 over what? Negative 9 over 2? And this is going to be negative 9 over 2 divided by 2, 9 over 2. And it's going to be bottoms up. It's going to be what? 2x minus 9, 2x plus 9. And that's equal to y. You guys want to find out what is that, like a video game? What's that video game where you get that cheat sheet? You want me to tell you how to cheat on this? Here's a little quick way. Here we go. Everybody, listen. You have to recognize that this is called the difference of squares. Look, the answer is always, when it's the difference of squares, you're going to do 1 plus 1 minus. 1 plus 1 minus, whatever. This goes in the back. That's definitely, this is easier to do. What's the square root of 81? Square root of 81 is 9 and 9. What is the square root of 4? What's the square root of 4? 2. And then what is the square root of x squared? Isn't it x? And x? Look. Yes? You guys want to try one yourself? And I think this is going to be it. We're done. We will be done after this. That's too much work. All right, let's see. We're done. This is going to be it. I am going to walk around. Check. So anyways, the quick way to do it, and that's the only one I'm going to do, but yeah, we're done. 1 plus 1 minus, you have to recognize it. Square root of that's going to be what? Square root of this number, because I already recognize it's a difference of squares, so it's going to be 4 and 4. And that should work out to be correct. If you want to do it that way, go ahead. It takes a while, but that is the way. Okay, we're done here. Stop.